everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerd things. My name is Oscar Abby, one of your hosts today, per usual, making it 3 weeks in a row.
Let's go, baby.
listeners.
Let's go. We out here.
Alex, the Braun, the dad, he's here.
How can I tell you the strike is affecting me without telling you the strike is affecting me?
Shit. No.
Yeah. No, happy to be here, though. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you here, man.
Representing. Everybody else is missing.
Everyone's missing. Yeah, it's just me and Alex this week. For now.
For now, we'll see.
We'll do some switcheroos. Maybe.
Things might change.
But for now, it's me and Alex, which means, Alex, are you ready then to hop into our first segment of the week?
I'm ready.
News talk.
All right. First piece of news. Sony. They finally did it. They confirmed that the PS5 Slim, they're not calling it a Slim, but most people are just calling it PS5 Slim, is actually coming out. Coming out this holiday season.
It may come out this holiday season, or it is coming out?
It is. It is coming out.
Aha.
Yeah, so people will be able to pick it up. It is, was it $500?
Or is it $450? There's like the discless copy.
Yeah, so the digital one is going to be $450. The one with the Blu-ray drive
I see.
is
I
$500
see.
still.
It's like detachable, little convertible action. That's fun.
Yeah, so that's been a tiny piece of controversy for people is that so they are also going to the digital one without the disc drive. You can buy a disc drive in the future if you want for $75, which in total will make it technically more expensive than the $500 one now, but it might, I don't know, save you $50.
That sounds like your basic subscription model. You either pay for the whole year, pay for a month, either way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might as well pay for the year.
Yeah. So no surprise there. But yeah, I mean, cool. More people get hands on a PS5, but also like it's still a good chunk of change there.
It's still pretty big also. Like I can see why they're not calling it the Slim, because it's still pretty chunky.
Yeah. And also the fact that they've said that this will be like the model, like as soon as the original PS5 sell out, they are not making any more of those. Like that's it. And this will be the new PS5 model from here on out.
That's exciting. It might fit next to my TV now. Maybe. So maybe I'll get one day. Who knows?
One day. Yeah. All right. Next quick piece of news. It's done. It's finally done. We've been talking about this story for months and months. Microsoft has officially bought Activision Blizzard for a whopping $69 billion.
Wow.
Which means things like Call of Duty, things like Diablo, and all of those fucking games are now all under Xbox and Microsoft now.
Tony Hawk's pro skateboarder. I wonder if that's going to make a comeback. If it does,
there've been rumors swirling that now Guitar Hero might make a comeback.
Oh shit.
This,
man, yeah, this is really scary, worrisome, and also exciting. I just can't wait to see what the heck's going to happen next.
Exactly. It's a bit of everything because it is, I mean, it's the whole reason why it's taken this long for it to happen. It was a bit of is this a monopoly? I don't know, but it's there. It's happening. We'll see if Microsoft takes advantage of it. Yeah, who knows?
That's a big one.
That's a chunky one. That is a big one.
As a devout PlayStation person, Oscar, what are you most sad to see go? Like you're probably never going to play any of these games again. Which one gives you the most amount of tears? I mean, you play the Call of Duty games occasionally, right?
Yeah,
that's a pretty big one.
That's a big one, but again, they have said that one will still be on PlayStation, so that one is not going to be Xbox exclusive. So that one's not as big a deal. I don't know what's going to happen in the future with that, but who knows? But yeah, for me, it's not a huge thing because I don't really play most of those games.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like if they now take advantage of it and develop a brand new thing that is under their banner and exclusive to Microsoft. Like if they get the people that make Diablo and they have a different game that's incredible and I just never get to play that if I don't own a Xbox.
That's true.
I could get on PC, but that's a whole nother thing as well. So I don't know if there's anything that I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna see this go. Honestly, the Bethesda one that they did before that is more of a bummer than this,
for
with
sure.
Skyrim and Fallout and shit like that. I think that is what I would be more upset about.
I'm realizing I don't really play any of these games anymore, but I feel like high school me used to.
Right.
But I am sad that Tony Hawk is under the. I might not play a Tony Hawk game. I don't know if I ever would, but
right. I mean, there is one that's then this if they take advantage of it would be weird. Is that now technically Crash Bandicoot is under Microsoft, which is crazy to think about.
Shit! Wow.
he is a PlayStation mascot that
Is that
Microsoft now
blasphemy?
has.
Is that
It kind of is. It kind of
he was a
is.
mascot? He wasn't in. Was he? He wasn't in the PlayStation like battle royale game, which is
No.
interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
they
that one
always
has always
knew.
had a weird license because
Yeah.
Activision made it, you know?
Interesting.
It's weird. It's weird. So, yeah, congrats, Microsoft. We'll see what this does for the whole gaming world. Who knows? Moving on to the last piece of news before we change subjects. Netflix. Apparently, this is reported by Bloomberg. They said that Netflix is going to open stores in like physical stores called Netflix House, where you can just like get merch and watch TV and have some weird experiences in person and have food based off of some of their shows. So like you probably eat like a pile of shit based on Stranger Things or something. I don't know.
Oh boy.
I don't know. This seems like a decent idea, but it also to me seems like these are what like those like special pop-up bars do. Like you know
You're
how
right. Yeah.
like we've been to one. We went to one of them Stranger Things one once.
That was fun.
Uh, yeah, this to me is what that is, but I guess they're just doing a bunch of them and also they're permanent, I guess.
That's so interesting. I saw the headline for this. I thought it was going to be like a movie rental, like a
Oh, like they're going
Blockbuster.
back to Blockbuster?
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking awesome. Let's go. Like, RIP
Right.
Blockbuster, but that's kind of cool. I guess it doesn't
Yeah.
really have anything to do with watching movies, but just being fans of movies and living
Yeah.
in that culture. So that's kind of neat. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, me either. It's very interesting. Like I do wonder how big and broad these quote unquote live experiences will be. Like they say, like they could do stuff like have you do an obstacle course that's from Squid Game or
Oh
shit like
shit.
that.
People are going to die. I don't know, man. That sounds crazy. Can they do
Yeah,
that?
that might be bad. That
Read
might be
the
bad
fine
choice.
print when you get there, guys.
Honestly, yeah, don't sign anything before reading it. Yeah. Netflix will own you.
That's cool though. I might check one out. I'm sure there's going to be one in New York at some point. I'll check one out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. If I hear great things, it should be pretty cool, pretty interesting.
I'll report
Way
back.
to go, Netflix.
I'm not going to the Squid Games though.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right, let's now get to the next segment piece of news, which means we have to visit the trailer park. So we're gonna do it right now.
Mob's Spaghetti.
First piece of trailer time. New York Comic Con was this weekend, so a lot of news and some cool stuff came out of it. We're not gonna talk about it all because there's too much, and some of it we don't care about. No one watches The Walking Dead anymore. It's dead. It's gone. But they'll keep trying. But we will talk about this first trailer for Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, the new trailer for the upcoming Apple TV Plus show. I'm still just like wowed by how good these shows on Apple TV. Like Apple TV kind of flew under the radar. I feel like it still kind of flies under the radar for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But like I just finished because of Devin's recommendation watching both seasons of Foundation, and that show is spectacular and looks spectacular.
Nice. Yeah, I got to check that one out still.
Yeah, it's good. And this looks on same caliber, at least in terms of effects. Like there's a whole big shot of Godzilla at the end of this. I was like, damn, this is like some movie quality visual effects.
It looks pretty polished. Yeah, they it seems like they're taking their time. They don't have like a bunch of new shows every single week, but when something does come out, it looks pretty good for sure.
Yeah, probably gonna get Apple TV again now because of this show, just to check it out.
I'm not gonna lie though, I am very lost in all of the different Godzilla universes. I'm not sure what movies tie together and what movies don't.
Right.
It's all very confusing, but I guess that's part of the love of Godzilla. There's always been 1,000 of them, and they always don't make a lot of sense together.
Yeah, because like there is like you see John Goodman's character running around in this trailer, and he's straight from the most recent King Kong movie, Skull Island. He was in that, so I do wonder how those flashbacks and stuff will work, because we know this is going to take place in 2 time periods anyways, with Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell playing the same character.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I don't know, it looks good. I'm interested. Hopefully it's actually good.
I wonder if there'll be like a little baby Godzilla and then a grown-up Godzilla.
I mean, there was a shot in this where they're running around from some little creatures running out of eggs, so
Oh, interesting. I missed that. Okay. So cute. Very cute Godzilla.
yeah. Next, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. They showed off a clip for the new Scott Pilgrim Netflix show, and now we got our first actual like trailer. I am really excited for this show, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, let's go.
For one thing, they used the fucking Mortal Kombat song in this trailer, which was fucking hilarious. That was awesome, and it just looks fun. And this goes back to my argument: Netflix just needs to do animations. I'm just gonna keep going on with that. It's just their animation shit is actually good. It's real good, and this looks to be even better. I love that Edgar Wright is attached. He's executive producing, and then also I don't remember what the name of the musician is that is doing the music for this, but they apparently are the person who did the music for the game as well, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks dope. I'm really into it. Hopefully, it's good.
Yeah, I'm excited. Stellar cast, so that'll be fun too.
Yeah, yeah. And they got them all. That's a hell of a cast. I don't know. I don't want to know how much they paid that
Mm,
cast for that.
mm.
Goddamn. All right. Last and final trailer. It is for Invincible Season 2, which will be coming out very soon.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen Invincible at all, but
Right.
this trailer makes me kind of want to take a second chance. It looks pretty. It looks
Yeah.
pretty fun. Looks really good.
I mean, I thought the first season was pretty good. I think Devin and Brian liked it a little more than I did. I think the hype got to me a bit, but I still think
Okay.
it's a solid show. It's really good.
I
And
only
I'm
hear
excited
good
for
things
season
about
2.
it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything negative. So
I gotta check it out one day.
yeah, looks brutal, looks violent. It's don't watch this with your kids. Listen,
Copy that. Copy that.
it's bloody gross show.
Not a cartoon for the little ones.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and that's it. That's the trailer park, which means that is the news. Which means Alex, shall we move into our main topic of the week?
Let's go.
All righty. See you later, Alex. We'll probably talk to you later. But welcome, Ryan, listeners. He's here for our main topic of the week. Real quick, how you doing, Brian? What's going on?
I was immediately gonna burp as soon as you started talking to me. I almost didn't survive that, but I'm okay.
You did have a look on your face like the Abbott in this show at one point, which is hilarious. Like you were at death's door for 2 seconds.
I was like, oh no, he stopped talking. What do I do? Light flash before my eyes. No,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. Not good. I'm still a little hungover because getting old is a bitch and a half. But
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
that,
I'm
we
with you,
live.
man. It's Monday. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, and it's Monday. It's a bad day. We rise again. We live forever, like this TV show.
Yeah, so Brian's here with us, listeners. Just me and him for this main topic. Alex, we'll talk to him later in this episode, I'm sure. But with that, we are trapped in yet again another fortress. Or should I say castle? Because this week, we're in the fortress of
Really angsty boys that do magic and have wit. Castlevania Nocturne.
Yes, listeners. We're here. We're finally talking about the most recent Netflix animated series, Castlevania Nocturne, which is a spinoff of the much beloved by all of us, winner of the greatest video game adaptation of all time on our podcast, Castlevania.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we did that. And Last of Us got fucking like second rounded or something. No,
It got fucked.
Did it get fucked?
It
What
got
happened
fucked.
to it? What made it end up that low? I feel like it didn't end up where it was supposed to be for whatever reason.
Yeah, man. I think the order, it just got screwed. Just lost.
Those brackets
I
are
don't
tough.
even remember what it lost to be honest.
Right.
But yeah, we're here to talk about Castlevania Nocturne. First season, 8 episodes. We'll talk about it probably towards the end of this, but already confirmed season 2, which is pretty dope. With that, no spoilers at first. I'll talk about my thoughts on this series real quick because you had asked me before we started recording what I thought. I enjoyed this. I did enjoy this show. I don't want to get into spoilers, but the ending of this season kind of won the whole show for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Which is so unfair.
It's so
Once
unfair.
you know as well.
I
It's
know.
like, well, we know that's going to be way better than what we just watched. Like, Jesus Christ.
I was immediately trying to like write out my thoughts and I was like, all right, the whole season's worth it now. I don't give a shit. Let's give me season 2. But after a little bit of reflection, I don't know, because I did watch it like in one day, because that was the only time I had it. So I just kind of binged all 8 episodes and it was kind of late, so I was kind of sleepy. So I don't know if that affected me, but there were times where I'm like, I don't know if I'm bored or if it just some of the characters aren't like I'm not getting as attached to or anything like that. There were times where I was like, I don't know if this needed to be 8 episodes. I watched the last 4 again this past weekend because Jackie was visiting, and she wanted to finish it up before we recorded as well. And I did like them more a second time. I also do think the second half of the season is miles ahead of the first half, in my opinion. When things start to really ramp up, I'm like, okay, let's fucking go. The first half, I understand it's a season 1, so it's hard, and you got to compare, or you got to introduce a lot of characters and their backgrounds and quickly start to care about them. And I just didn't, I don't think, as much. And I'm trying not to compare to the original Castlevania because I do love those characters and all that so much. At this point, obviously, they had 4 seasons, so it's easy. But I did by the end. I'm very excited for more. I did enjoy this. I kind of wish the whole French Revolution backdrop of this was like more integral. I thought it was going to be more of a thing in this, and it's kind of not, for me at least. This first season, I do wonder if this is going to have like a step up in the next season of being more of a reason. But so far, it's just like it didn't really have to take place in France or anything like that, in my opinion. But yeah, by the end of it, I did like where the story's going. I'm surprised at where it ended in terms of. I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. I'll save it.
Not yet, not yet. We got time to. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
I'll
don't worry.
save it. Yeah, a solid first season. I think if you compared it to the first 4 episodes of Castlevania, which is the first season was only 4 episodes, I think a lot of people had the same complaints in that first season, which it's a little bit slow and it's short, and so I don't know. I did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to more. I just love this world. It's very interesting.
That's fair. I definitely feel like I agree with you on a lot of those points. One that comes down is the French Revolution thing. They definitely started this season with a very like "Viva la
Yeah.
Revolution" kind of situation, and then second half it just got completely deleted and didn't matter anymore.
Mhm.
And I think that was a little unfortunate. I don't know if they just didn't feel like they had time to do it, or maybe they thought it was too boring. Because there were
Right.
some very interesting things about like oppression and slavery and things like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters of color,
Mhm.
which I found very interesting. I don't know that other people did. I don't know if all these characters are in the series. All I know is Richter.
Right.
So I feel like they felt pretty true to his character, at least his like stylization and stuff. So
Mhm.
that was cool. But yeah, I wonder if if the spark is leaving, or if this is actually just worse than, and that's not to say that it's bad, but just worse than the original Castlevania. Like to me right now, it feels like a spin-off in basically like every version of the word. And that like, yeah, I didn't really feel too attached to the characters. I found some just downright fucking annoying.
Oh, yeah, well, I found one very much annoying in particular, what we'll get it to. Yeah.
Which that's really disappointing. And you only have so many characters in this show, and I don't like half of them. It's like, that's kind of
Right.
rough. So I wasn't very attached.
Mm.
So it made the stakes not feel very high to me. And then I also there was just some weird things with the writing that I just don't know. Like Castlevania is dark and it's a little gritty, so some of the language that they use is a little tough as well.
Mhm.
But this one, it just really felt more forced to me.
Hmm.
To some of the things that they were like saying, and like really, I don't know. It was like a 14-year-old got really angsty and decided they wanted to start writing a script sometimes. And I was like, I don't think you needed to say this here, but
Interesting.
I get that you were trying to do.
Yeah.
So they did that a few times. It's kind of bothered me.
I mean, it is a good point to say that Warren Ellis, who the creator of the show and wrote the entire first season, is not attached to this project at all. So maybe
Mhm.
that could be a very big deal.
Someone trying to basically impersonate his writing and not doing maybe as good a job about it,
Maybe.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I still enjoyed what I watched. Like, I still thought it was a fun watch, but I definitely did not think it was. I wouldn't say nearly as good as Castlevania, but definitely not as good as the original
Mhm.
4 seasons that kind of came out,
Right.
which is crazy when you find out that on Rotten Tomatoes, this show got a 100%, not a single percentage point off.
They are fucking digging this show, dude. That's
Which is
crazy.
funny because it also got review bombed. So it
Oh,
also has a 44% on Rotten
of course
Tomatoes
it
at the
did.
same
Of
time.
course it did.
So the
Why?
review score is 100% and the user score is 44%. One of the big criticisms about it is the fact that it is considered
Oh,
Wokelvania. So
god
there's
damn
that
it.
as well. Some people do have like legitimate critique about it,
Right,
but a lot
right.
of people are just being
'Cause there's
sway
black
white
people in
men.
it.
Yeah, there's black people, and I guess some of the characters may have been like race
They
changed to
were.
do so.
Yes.
I'm not,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess people feel some type of way about that, even though we watched the same thing happen in House of Dragon, that those characters weren't supposed to be black people.
Right.
They became black people because it made more sense into the context of the story when you put it on film.
Right.
Whatever, I get it. I understand connections to characters and stuff like that. Also, I feel like Richter is in a lot of like Game Boy games, so what he looked like and shit like that didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, he was like 4
Uh,
pixels. What are we talking about?
right. He got a couple 3D ones, but he's mostly in the shitty games. Yeah, so there's that. And then also I do think that people felt like it was a little too loose on some of the connections to the games.
Interesting.
So it kind of has that Halo feel to it where it's like
Ah,
they could be telling a good story, but it's just not the
I
story.
see,
And
I
I know
see.
that there's a lot of struggle in I guess fandoms and communities about whether or not that's a good thing to get looser with the story or not
Right.
when you already have established characters.
Yeah.
So
This could be also like one of those cases, like for me, we've talked about this before. I don't really have a huge attachment to Castlevania, like the legacy of it. I haven't really played any of the games, specifically what this one's mostly based off like Rondo of something. I don't remember what it's called exactly. So
mhm.
I don't really know the story. And I'm not eager to find out because I like for this show, same thing with the original Castlevania, I liked the twists and turns of not knowing what's going to happen and what characters will appear and not appear and who will die and who will not die. So I am not trying to get any of that spoiled for me for this show in particular. And so I'm okay with that ride because I don't know. I'm ignorant to the knowledge
Right.
of that. So that's interesting. I had no idea about that. But no, I get it. I get it. It's same thing with Devin versus me and you on Last of Us. We were so stuck to and faith to the faithfulness of that story that Devin wasn't aware of. That's why he ended up liking that show a lot more than me and you did. We've talked about. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel it. I feel like Castlevania is a little bit different than some of the other things we touched, like Halo and Last of Us.
Mhm.
Because I don't, and maybe I'm wrong. I could just be pissing out my ass, and someone that's really a huge Castlevania fan is like, we have a huge fandom of thousands of
Right,
people, and we'll
right.
kill you for saying that. But I just don't feel like as many people are attached to Castlevania like they are some of these other things, or at least not recent fans. A lot of these are
Right.
probably older fans because I don't know when the last Castlevania
Well, that's what I'm
game
saying.
came out. If
Yeah,
it was even well received when it did. So like,
exactly. I think that's also the thing is that when was the last great Castlevania game?
right. I feel like you'll have a lot more casual fans of this series than you will some of the other series we're starting to see like pop up
Right.
in media.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so we seem to be on similar pages. So with that, let's get into spoilers then. From here on out, listeners, spoilers for the entire first season, all 8 episodes. I guess let's start from the top real quick. I don't know about you, but I pretty much called it. I was like, "Mom's dead. Mama
Oh yeah,
Belmont, you're
absolutely.
fucked."
And I think I texted you as soon as I
You
watched that
did.
first episode because I was like, I'm gonna dislike this character because they do a thing with children, and it's such a tropey thing
It
that
is.
I don't know how else you pull it off to make like the stakes high or whatever. But I hate the like whole thing of like calling someone's name in the middle of battle, them losing like their focus for
Mhm.
half a second, and then dying because of it. But that happens so
Yeah.
often. And he's like zombie movie, but like Jeff, and he's like, huh?
Yeah.
No, they got Jeff. It's like if you didn't yell Jeff's name, they wouldn't have gotten fucking Jeff.
Exactly.
You dumb idiot.
Exactly.
What's wrong with
Yeah.
you?
Yep. Yep.
So that pissed me off. And Richter, of course, was immediately a little bitch baby. And then they did another trope where the vampire is like, I don't want to kill
Oh,
you
I know,
yet.
man.
I need you to get stronger so I can face you again at your best. Like,
I literally
what
wrote
fucking
that
video
down. I was
game
like,
is
"Oh, Rox, why would you not just fucking kill him? Why would you do this?"
he is a very Darth Vader esque where he loves the drama. He's for
Yeah.
the petty.
I'm like, "Come on,
I
dude."
want you to live with this trauma for 25 years before I see
Yeah.
you again.
Also, again, because I'm a Castlevania newbie in terms of the lore. What indicates who can turn into a fucking dragon? Why would some vampires have that power? Like, what makes him so damn special that no one else can turn into a fucking snake dragon?
It's one of those things where it's like they all have nondescript powers. All the henchmen are just nobodies. They just don't do shit.
No.
They can barely even fight. They can barely even fight. I don't know what the fuck they've been doing in their downtime, but it's not been learning how to do anything because they have no magic, nothing. They're
Nope.
just dressed like George Washington and then they die. And then other motherfuckers get wings. Some people can turn into smoke. One dude shoots skulls, and it was just like, who denotes whether or not you get the superpower?
Right.
Where do I get the skull shooting power?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Whose blood do I have to suck to get that power, bro?
Right,
What
I'm
the
just
fuck?
a bitch that doesn't die. This sucks.
Yeah. So I did like the design. I thought he was cool though. Olrox, like that whole dragon fight, and his mom with the whip, dope as shit. I liked her character design. I thought she was really cool. Quick tangent, because I didn't go back and watch any of the original Castlevania series. Did this animation seem slightly different, or am I crazy?
Yes. They definitely used a lot more CGI for this, and I don't know if maybe they had a time crunch or something like that. But this was definitely a very CGI dominated animation for sure. And I didn't love it all the time. It was another thing that I think got better in the second half compared to the first half.
Gotcha.
But the first half, like they've always used a very like low frame per second. So it always looks a little choppy, which I don't hate, especially if they were drawing it by hand in the first stuff. They might have never been. It could have always been CGI.
Right.
But I just think they changed it. It reminded me, which it pisses me off. There was this AI anime going around for a little bit. You might have not seen it, but it was going around online where these dudes made an anime completely out of AI, and it had such a crunchy look to it.
Right.
And sometimes this looked like that. And I don't know if it's because maybe they fed some of the AI, some of the old Castlevania stuff to do it.
Interesting.
It was definitely based on like the same kind of like,
Right.
I don't know, castle-esque world or whatever. It was definitely like an old English kind of take to it.
Mhm.
But that pissed me off knowing that it looked like that.
Right.
And that might have been the reason why it bothered me so much. But yeah, they definitely did something different. It's kind of like the switch between hand-drawn and CGI that they did in Attack on Titan.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if you noticed that switch in like season 3.
Which
I think
funny,
it
I
was.
didn't notice it until I heard everyone complain about it, and then I was like, I never picked up on that, which is funny.
Yeah, the art style changed so aggressively that it was a little jarring, especially if you didn't watch it. I don't know, like you didn't watch it in 2014 and then picked it back up in like 2017 or whatever.
Right.
Like that was
Right.
it was a little weird, but I got over it.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I was talking about when I brought this up was there were some fights, and again, I want to go back to the original just to watch, where I was like, this frame rate is like 6 frames a second right now, and I don't know if I like it.
And it was definitely an aesthetic choice for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't my favorite aesthetic choice, but it definitely was one.
And it didn't happen all the time, but there was one
Mhm.
sequence towards the end of the season in the church where I was like, this is like whoa, slow. What the holy shit?
Sometimes it's really jarring to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't remember that from the first game. But yeah, I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on that. But okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real quick, action-wise, I did think most of the action throughout the season was pretty good. I do like how they didn't just try to carbon copy all of the characters from the original series. So like like his mom, for example, she's got magic and the whip. Like
Mhm.
clearly the Belmont clan has advanced past Trevor, where Trevor was just physical attacks. He didn't really have magic like Sypha did. And so the fact that they could do both, his mom at the beginning, I was like, that's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. I really enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely like the powers that they kind of chose for everybody. Because yeah, like you said, a lot of people use just magic just straight up in this show. There's like not many just I'm a dude with a sword
Yeah.
kind of people.
Yeah, most people are just magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh, another one thing I feel like it's like the choreography with this. It's weird to call it choreography when it's
Right.
cartoons, but I'm sure someone sat in their room and mapped this out before drawing it because it's really funny to see animation people work. And they'll usually like do like the scenes themselves. So it'll
Oh,
just be like
yeah.
a chunky guy with some glasses that's like pretending to be Richter Belmont. And it's like, oh, you translated that to that. Yeah, some of it's like it didn't have the same synergy that I was looking for that I felt like I felt in
Mm.
original series. I hate that I keep comparing it
I
to it, but
know,
I
it's
have to
tough.
because I mean that's what it's based on so hard. But it's like some of the stuff felt like kind of chaotic, or also sometimes just kind of boring. And I don't know if it's because the fodder was too fodder
Mhm.
in this series or what. Because like the thing about this is original Castlevania, they're fighting a lot of just stupid monsters.
Right.
Whereas in this, they're fighting like what I would consider if I was playing a video game would be the next step up from like, just the things that you hit in one shot and they
Right.
die.
They're fighting some mini bosses every now and then. Yeah.
Right. But they still a lot of them die in one shot. Where it's like that is a whole ass vampire that has we mourn for one dude's fucking life. His wife is
Oh,
crying
I know.
because he died. And he died in such an unceremonious way that it's like
That was honestly my favorite though. That fucking Lafayette ass French vampire man. That shit was so funny to me. And the fact that she just kept his holding his head the whole fucking time. I was dying, dude.
Yeah, so it's just like stuff like that just kind of made it feel like a little low risk when things were happening. That I
Mm.
don't know. It's hard to explain, but I did feel like it didn't hit quite as much as the original
No,
show.
that's fair. And I think it's also a thing like I think I'm comparing it to the best fights from Castlevania. So
Maybe,
it's
and not just
tough.
all of them.
Right, and so there might have been some lower level fights that were kind of similar to this because I definitely think there are points in this series where I was like, "Fuck, that was cool. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope as shit." So I do wonder if it's like yeah, I'm just comparing the best versus this, where it's not like on scale the same thing type of thing. I don't know though.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's go through some of these characters. You said you didn't like Richter, little boy.
I don't know any of these characters' names, so let me pop something up.
How'd you feel about Richter, the man?
So this is where I have the issue with the writing.
Okay.
In that I think they needed to tone down his angsty boy. And I don't think it got
Interesting.
better. I think even when he had his like character growth, he still hit that point where it's like, okay, we're gonna choose humor over like a real growth in character. And I don't know how I felt about that. Because it was
Mm.
like what was that fucking situation? So there was one, he talks a lot like me actually, which is kind of funny. That I hated. But he goes, I think it's when they're in the jail cell, towards the end of the series, and he's like killing everybody and stuff. He's gotten all his powers, so he's feeling real good. And then he goes, "Who's fucking
Oh.
next?" And then I was just like,
I kind of like that though. I'm not gonna lie, because he goes on the
like, I
whole
don't-
fucking spiel, his whole speech. I'm Richter Belmont, blah blah blah.
See, and that's like a moment where you'll have like swelling music, like
Right,
dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, dun. Who's fucking next?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I could see it. It didn't quite hit
There's a
as
few things
yeah,
like that
but
that kind of
yeah.
landed flat to me with his character that I was just like, I really wanted him to not be so snot nosed. Like he was green, but in like the worst way.
That's funny. See, I think I enjoyed him a little more because honestly, I think it might have been because there was one certain character around him that I found more annoying.
Can we talk about who that character is?
Yes.
We don't have to yet, but I do want to compare. Yeah, I guess with the Belmonts, they all gotta be like snazzy and cool and
Yeah.
calm and collected or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I think that was another thing that people complained about, that they're like, that doesn't feel like his character quite. Like he's very
Mm.
loosely based on the actual character. Which
Interesting.
the other original character might just be fucking boring because he might just be super like, I'm Richter Belmont.
Right, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, right.
So
I don't
maybe that
know
was a
what
good
the
change.
characterization differences are between those pixelated people.
He doesn't want to saying fuck so much, that's for sure.
He did, yeah. No, yeah. So I liked, I didn't mind Richter mostly because I think they did kind of, and hopefully they'll get into it more. They did kind of add some characterization to him, like in the sense that I love that he just fucking runs away. he just fucking bolts from the fight because he turns back into a 10-year-old.
Man knows when to dip. And you know what? I respect it. Man saw, what was it, Orlax or whatever, and he was just like, no.
Fuck that. I love that. I was like, oh my God, this is your fucking hero? And he just did the fuck out. And he did not stop running for miles.
My man full Forrest Gump ran across the country. He was like, fuck no.
Only reason he stopped was because he hit water.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. It kind of gives me some later season like Legend of Korra vibes, where it's like,
yeah,
like I am not as strong as a lot of this shit that I'm coming across.
I
like,
need therapy.
I have a big head or whatever. Yeah, like I have a big head or whatever, but I'm actually dealing with like some severe PTSD, and this shit's really scary. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like you said, I'm just still 10 years old. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right? I saw this man turn into a dragon and kill my mom before my very eyes. You can't shake
really
that shit off.
I would too be pissing my pants and running. That's really scary.
Yeah. So like, I love moments like that because it was just like unexpected in terms of like your classic stoic hero. In anything else, you would have just been like, "Fuck it, let's fight," and they would have had this giant epic fight. But to see him just run and take some time away from the group, and we'll talk about it probably a little later, introducing his grandfather and shit like that. I was like, this worked for me in a way.
I did like that. Yeah, it was another thing where it's like, I don't know that I still love the character in that moment because he probably said something really dumb when he did that.
Right.
Like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But I do like that he did have that building moment where it kind of slowed down the pace and had him actually like sit with his feelings of like, oh man, I don't know what I've gotten myself into here.
I've never had to think about this since that day. You know, I blocked this shit out for whatever years.
Do think that it took away from it that the woman also had the same storyline, where she was also like,
you're talking about Annette?
No, not Annette. The white woman, the blonde haired mother.
Oh, Tara.
Where she was like, yeah, I saw a vampire. She was really scary.
Oh, right.
I noped the fuck out of there and never came back. And she's back, so I'm gonna nope the fuck out of there again. She also did the very first like episode. She just was like, who's here?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I'm out. I'm out of here.
That's
true.
It was
like, oh, well, damn it. Like, I didn't really need to see that twice. And I don't really know why they did that to her, too, other than the fact, I guess maybe they wanted a parallel somewhere there. Of like, oh, well, this shit's scary, you know?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know why either, but I guess they just needed a connection to the villain rather than it just being this nameless villain that no one has any connection to whatsoever. I guess they made it a little more personal, maybe, but yeah. I forgot about that, to be honest.
It almost would have been interesting, and I don't know how the original story of this goes, if they did attach that character that I'm talking about, that woman villain, who she has some of the best fight scenes in the show, in my opinion, to Annette, because we did one of the things that I thought was interesting. Annette's she's the black one, right? The black French woman. I did like the connection between how like, oh, we're black people. We're living very different lives. Where I'm a black person, I'm a fucking slave. You're a black person, you're singing an opera, like with Eduardo. Like I like that kind of like juxtaposition between those two characters, and to add another layer of another black woman that's like, I have pure freedom. I'm literally a vampire that can do whatever the fuck I want. Because who's gonna stop me? Maybe that could have been an interesting addition as opposed to just making her, fuck on some white people.
Yeah,
which fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really do anything.
No, that's true. That's fair enough. Okay, since we're on the subject, let's talk about Annette, who is the character that I was more annoyed by in terms of.
You didn't like Annette? A lot of people didn't like Annette.
I liked her by the end.
She was the main story.
I know. I liked her like by the second to last episode or whatever, because she did some dope shit. But like there was a couple episodes, like, I'm not gonna lie, she's the reason Ed died. I'm just gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
She's the whole reason. And then she pisses and gets mad at Richter for running away and fucking things. I was like, girl, did you not just remember that you fucked everything up like 2 hours ago? Do we not remember this? What are we talking about?
That was pretty annoying. And then she makes it her whole life's goal to fucking get him back. And then, it's a whole thing. We'll get into that.
Yeah. But like she grew on me, and I did like her whole origin. They basically dedicated almost an entire episode to her origin, which I thought was really interesting, of how she escaped slavery and her met Ed, and then they burned the whole fucking plantation to the ground, and then the fucking slave master got away, turned into a fucking flying rat, and flew away. I did enjoy that, but I think at that point I was still kind of mad at that character. I was just like, Ed, you owe Ed. I'm just saying.
She was a tough character, like you said, because she had a very like flawed storyline, it felt like. And then at some points she was just the main character. Like Richter plays a supporting character in his own show sometimes.
Yeah.
Which would have been fine, I think, if there were more episodes. Not that I think they needed to be. I think there probably should have been less of anything.
Right.
But I do think she kind of like hijacked some of his storylines sometimes
Mhm.
to make me want to care about her more, to kind of tell me a washed up story. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm a black man that's seen enough black film to know
Right.
that the black struggle is always like the main story that they want to tell. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
we've been here before. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like
it's
I've seen this
interesting because
before.
I was just like, I don't know how you made slave masters worse. Oh, turn them into vampires. Okay.
Imagine George Washington is a fucking vampire. What's going on here, bro? Fuck the wood teeth. This man had fangs.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a cool kind of art style change at one point in that episode where she's running away. I thought that was kind of interesting because that was like the only time that I remember at least that happening in the entire show.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
There was something interesting. I think it was another one of those situations where it's just they maybe didn't delve into the right stuff they needed to make it really work.
Right.
Where it still felt a little surface level. It was like, okay, well, we know slavery obviously exists in this, world. And it's very similar to our slavery. I don't know if Castlevania is considering our world or something else. But then it was just kind of like, oh yeah, and we don't really care about it anymore. Revolution.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only met one black slave, and it was her, and that was it. And
Right,
then we moved
right.
on.
Although the moment that I was like, fuck yeah, net was when she killed the slave master by just trapping him in a bunch of crucifix boxes and then just waiting for the sun to come up. I was like, that
Gotcha,
was
bitch.
badass. That was badass.
Had to have a whole story time with him, everything.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I was like, okay, we cool, we cool. I like her power too, which is anything. She can just do whatever the hell she
She
wants,
just does anything,
basically.
whatever she needs to do.
At first, when it started, because she takes like she turns like her knives into a plate, or takes a plate and turns it to a knife or whatever. And I thought she had like power over sand, maybe. But then as it continued, I was like, nope, she just all earth. It don't matter. She could just control it.
Yeah, at one point she turns her shit into like a double bladed saber or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's a thing.
Cool. I'm not gonna lie, Brian. The first time Ed sang, that shit sucked.
I almost was gonna turn the show off after that. You were talking about annoying characters. I thought you were gonna talk about Eduardo. I thought that man was miserable. Miserable from start to finish. That motherfucker was so annoying and like, shut up. The only thing he did in that show was sing. Fuck.
Look, I thought the rest of his singing was fine. That first song when he's alive still and they're burying fucking Maria's bird, I was like, this is the worst funeral song I've ever heard.
Yep.
This song sucks.
I was like, why did you start with such high notes?
I
Why
know.
did we start there?
Why is it so high, dude? It's too high. Bring it down.
Bring it down a couple octaves. Yeah, I was not expecting that.
No, I didn't. But I'm really interested in his story, though, in terms that he's a fucking night creature that clearly still has some sentience to him. Like, he remembers who he is and can speak, for one thing,
Right.
and can also influence other night creatures to realize who they were prior to being a night creature, which I was like, that could be handy, you know?
Right. By talking to them and then also randomly just singing.
And just
To
singing.
the point that even the vampires are like, shut this
I
motherfucker
know.
up. What is he doing down there?
I like how later the villain's like, what the fuck is that noise? And they're like, oh, apparently sometimes they just do that. Well, shut it up. I don't want to hear it.
Because I was like, she's just like me for real. Shut him up.
Yeah.
Shut
I
up
will
down
say, I really liked his design though, with the fucking hands over his eyes
there. The
that
hands
aren't
over the
actually
eyes
his
was really
hand.
cool.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
really cool though. Yeah. That was a genuinely cool, new, unique design. There were a couple of those in this show that I was like, this is pretty dope. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. They have some good art direction for sure. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that that's usually wasted on some characters that don't fucking matter.
Right. Let's talk about Maria a little bit. Our tiny little fucking animal leader.
She's a bastard child.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also true. I like her magic set. I like her just summoning random fucking animals to help out.
Yeah, and saying that they were like a part of her. And I was like, that's really interesting. I don't know where you learn to, manifest that kind of magic.
That
but
is the one thing where
it's different.
I don't know how Castlevania magic works, where some people are just like fire, ice, lightning. Some people can control earth, and then some people can make birds
Spirit
appear.
druid. Yeah. Like, okay, sure. I rock with it.
Yeah. I feel like Maria probably has the least to do this whole season, I think. She's just kind of tagging along, and then obviously she's like the crux at the end, but other than that, not
Yeah.
much.
She turns into damsel in distress, kind of.
A little bit.
She's kind of forced into that place once she finds out more of her storyline. She reminds me of Historia and Attack on Titan a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
She gets the
honestly,
most to
yeah.
do when she becomes the piece of the puzzle. And it's like,
Right.
oh, well, fuck.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, I mean, she's fine. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about her, to be
She
honest.
honestly, I like her character's version of being green than I do Richter. And that
Mm,
it's not so angsty with it. That it's like, yeah, she's pretty hot headed. She's pretty strong. She knows she's strong.
right.
She never backs down from a fight, even when she probably should.
Right.
I think I liked her character at least a little bit more, and maybe that's just because they didn't do any addition to her. She stayed pretty the same no matter
Right.
what.
And then her mom, Tara, who I quite enjoyed her character. She's probably like the only character that actually has a somewhat French accent in this whole show, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought she was pretty interesting. I mean, obviously by the end, which we'll talk about and once we get to that point, hopefully we'll see more of her in some way or another, clearly. But that's gonna be a cool storyline. I'm excited to continue.
I didn't like her at first. She definitely had to grow on me. I do think the first half she just felt like I don't even know how to explain her. Like such a just nothing character.
Right. No,
Especially when
that's
they
fair.
first introduced like the first villain of this show. Where I was like, she's just gonna be that person that just keeps telling me stories about how bad the person is we gotta fight. Like, okay, I get it.
Right.
But then she
Yeah.
came to her own.
Yeah, and then it becomes a thing where the abbot, you find out, is the father of Maria, and were a thing and all this shit.
I would have
So
been just as mad as Maria is. I think that's real gross, Mom. What the fuck is wrong with you?
yeah, it was funny when Jackie was talking about it. She's like, "Oh, of course the priest had a kid." I was like, "Well, we don't know if he was a priest when they had a kid." But then the show's like, "Nah, he was a priest when they had a kid." I was like, "Oh, well,
Well,
whoops,
yeah.
you fucked up."
Yeah, Mom was just like, "What do you want me to do? I loved him." No, Mom, that's gross. Stop.
Yeah,
You fucked a zealot.
he's kind of an idiot this whole show. What a moron.
Oh my gosh. Gives me very big Diablo. I was just comparing the show to everything else because there's so much other stuff. But it gives me very Diablo vibes to do some shit like that, to start praying to basically Lilith and being like, no, it's God. And it's like, no, you're praying to hell, my good guy. You're fucking
Right.
this place up.
I know, and everyone keeps telling him like that. It's like, dude, you're literally we're making a portal to hell at the bottom because you're fucking around with too much shit.
It's just God's will. Does God come from the ground? 'Cause that shit looks fiery. I don't know.
Let's stick with the villains then, since we just got on the Abbott.
Why are they all so sexy? What's the point?
Everyone in the show is hot. Tara, the mom, is hot. Drolta, the vampire lady, is hot. The Old Rocks is hot. Everyone's hot, bro.
Homegirl comes out the fucking, I don't know, space nipple, just dressed in like fucking dominatrix outfit
Bruh.
with hoof heels.
Dude,
what's going on here?
the fact that she got no actual heel and just is on tippy toes the whole time. I was like, that's funny design. I like that design.
That's so fucking wild. Like, wait, I don't know. What fucking show did she go from walking the stage on?
Honestly, when she gets like turns into her like full vampire form, I was like, "This is Nicki Minaj, the vampire, right here."
Her whole
the
pussy
pink
was out when
hair.
she did it. I was like, "What's going on? Did they have leather back then?
I
How do you
don't
have
know.
leather?"
I don't know. I don't know. But I loved it. I loved her design. I was like, "This is crazy." She looks dope as hell.
It was ridiculous.
Oh.
Her character was interesting because she was black, I assume. They
Yeah.
don't really state, but it was just like, huh. I'd like to know more about what happened in her life that turned her into, I don't know, this girly pop. Like you said,
Right.
Nicki Minaj, basically. Because she don't look like nobody else in the show.
No. Where did she come from? I don't know. But yeah, she's fine. She did her villainous job, I think, well
Yeah,
enough.
she has no story. She just
No.
exists to be mean and a little flirtatious.
Yeah. Which Old Rocks. Speaking of flirtatious, that dude he fuck everybody. No, he only fuck.
Is he just straight gay or is he bi? I really
don't
couldn't
know.
tell. He didn't seem like he liked Homegirl's advances at all.
No.
But he did tell you about he has some feelings for some men.
Yeah.
And a very Dracula-esque way of like, I will beat up everybody for my mans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, I like that he's kind of anti-hero-ish, or I don't even know anti-hero, but
I don't know what his end goal is. And it got more confusing, I feel like, towards the end of the show. Where I was like, I really don't know what the
I
fuck
think
he's
honestly,
gonna
I
do
just
here.
think he realizes that Elizabeth is like, no, we can't let this happen. This is too terrible.
This is too
Like, I want to fuck some shit up, but that shit's like earth fucking too much.
they're trying to eat the sun. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how he interacts with the big reveal character.
Right. Which, let's get to her then. Who, when she gets her upgrade later on in the show, she looked like a straight up Thundercat, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that new design.
She
I was
looked
not
like
feeling that one. As soon as they
Thundercat.
showed her face, I was like, oop. They might have messed this one up. They didn't hit with this one.
I mean, I think I liked her first character design more than the Thundercat.
For
But either
sure.
way, I like that she's like 12 feet tall, coming on some gold chariot pulled by white horse. I was like, she is fucking balling.
She
Oh
really
my
said I'm a
goodness.
goddess, and ain't nobody gonna tell me different.
No, right? I mean, as a villain, intimidating as fuck, especially by the end when they can't do shit to her, bro.
That was very anime. This show gets very
Oh,
anime
yeah.
sometimes. That was one of the most anime things where it's like just her pulling up made like a space time continuum fucking
That was
vacuum pop
awesome.
out.
That was so
Yeah, I was like that was
awesome.
such a badass way to enter that you're so powerful that just your presence
Yeah.
fucks everything up. And I was like, okay, that's I like this. So this is really cool. I like
Mhm.
that. I like it when you do a good like visual of power.
Yeah. It's like shit's about y'all fucked now. Like uh-uh.
Someone, I think he
Uh-uh.
shot fire at her, and he has like blue fire, so I assume he's a little bit stronger than the other magicians. And she just sucked that shit up.
He
She
literally point
just,
blanked it on her face and it did nothing.
it's like, oh, I'm in trouble.
We might be in trouble now,
But
guys.
not as scared of her as he is a fucking Olrox. What the fuck?
Right? I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, at that point, I don't think he's afraid of Orlox anymore either. Which let's talk about that. Let's quickly talk about Grandpa. Did you realize who the voice of Grandpa is?
Is it Trevor?
No, it is Ian Glenn, aka Sir Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones.
Is it really?
Yep. Daenerys's good old boy, Jorah Mormont. He is the
That would
voice
make sense.
of Grandpa Belmont.
Hey, good for him.
He's a
I can
good
see that man
voice.
getting some work. Yeah, he does.
I dug it. I mean, like when he shows up, I was like, all right, who you gonna be related somehow. But I like his look. I'm like, when I'm that old, because he looks like he's like 900 years old. I hope I look like that though.
He's got to get the Severus Snape hair. You
Yeah.
got to get the wig installed, and he'll just be hot no matter what.
But yeah, very cool. I liked his appearance. He still fights. Pretty dope.
I just thought he was a cool character. I think it was a cool design. I just think he's another character that's kind of feels, and I know it's a season one, but he just
Yeah.
doesn't. He feels kind of useless.
He's in
Honestly.
and out.
Yeah, he's another trope of like, oh, he's the guy that takes your gun, and then you look for your gun. He's like, I got your gun the whole time, buddy. 'Cause I
Oh,
know how
right.
to use this shit. It's like, okay, we get it. You used to be strong back in your day. Now you got to
Right.
Yoda me a little bit.
Basically. I mean, he also talks about like he can't do magic, and I bet you that'll come back. He's gonna do some magic at some point and then probably die. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he has to have some sort of sacrifice,
Yeah.
Severus Snape style
Yeah.
for sure.
But that led into, at least for me, one of the coolest moments of the show, and that's when Trevor got his magic back. He got his groove
Trevor
back.
goes Super Saiyan. That was just straight Super Saiyan.
That was amazing.
I love that anime trope of just when you get really strong, you just stop giving a fuck. So it's like you still should probably dodge these bullets. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you're still a little bit in danger.
He's like Neo.
Yeah, but then you just walk up to him calmly, like I'm so strong, you don't even phase me anymore.
Yeah.
And then just like their power swelling like scares the villain at the time. They're just like, oh, what do I do?
I mean, I did think this was one of the times where he just like randomly dropped an F-bomb, but I thought it was actually kind of cool where he's like, yeah, I was gonna say something really witty, but fuck it. And then he just obliterates that dude.
He was frying these
Oh
people.
my god.
Fucking frying them. Oh no, it was really cool. I do like his use of like ice and fire the way that he does. Does he do it in this scene? This is the scene that actually comes from one of the video games that's pretty popular of like you have a choice to basically make his whip on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And that was them finally showing that, plus he's always had a headband.
Yep. You got the
so that was a
headband.
part of his character's thing. So seeing those kind of like come up to like that little origin story of like, oh, okay, so this
That
is
was
how
cool.
it quote unquote happens.
Yeah.
I don't know if people like that or not. I thought it was cool just from the little bit I know of the character.
Right. I mean, I do like how Maria's like, are you wearing a headband now?
They just made fun of, and that's everything. And it's like I don't know if those jokes. Maybe I was just cranky when I was watching this, but I don't know that those jokes are like landing for me the way that I would feel like they would have. Where everything had to
Interesting.
like end in like a joke.
Right. Right.
And
No,
it's
that's
like
fair.
this is really serious. People are dying. I'm trying to think. There's something else that's like that
Hmm.
that I can't think of. Maybe it's an anime or something where
Maybe
it's
just
like everything is
undercuts it a little
so
too much for you.
yeah, everything's just so unserious. And I'm just like fuck. Like,
Right.
like,
Right.
they definitely did it in the old one. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like
Yeah.
it fit better. Maybe.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that's fair.
That was super cool. I like that a whole lot. I like the villain's design that he was fighting. Dude has a gun axe. Never seen
Oh,
that
yeah.
before.
That was
Couldn't
cool.
tell you his name. He
Nope.
doesn't matter. He's burnt now.
He's dead now.
Chicken. He's
He's
fried
in like
chicken
2
now.
scenes. He's dead now.
Yeah.
Really cool design.
Yeah. No wasted to get cooked. He might have been a character in the game. I don't know.
He might have. I feel like his name was like Dimitri or some shit. I don't know.
He looked like fucking not Wolverine. What is the fucking
Why did he kind of look
villain?
like an orc at the same time? Like he didn't look
Yeah.
fully human.
Human. I don't know that he was. I guess he's somehow a vampire. I don't
Right.
know. A lot of the vampires don't do vampire things. Some of them just like some burly men. Which is
Yeah,
very confusing.
right. It looked
Where
like
it's like,
some
did you turn
woodsman.
them, or did you just find someone that was really big and strong? It was like, hey, you want to work for some
Right.
vampires? Like, we'll give you a gun axe. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
That was dope as shit. Shout out to the music for that point because I thought that was super cool. And then yeah, that kind of leads us into the big fight in the church, which there were some pretty dope highlights. Just love, like you were saying, how Richter at that point he like barely uses the whip. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make ice fists. I'm gonna have fire, whatever. Who gives a shit?" He at one point he like straight up Avatar like jet boost with fire and then knees homegirl in the gut. I was like, "That whoa, what the fuck?"
Was this the same scene where he literally puts his hands on fire and then starts fucking boxing the person?
Yes, yes,
And I was like,
like
that's pretty
straight
cool.
bobbing and weaving boxing. Yes,
And then set her on fire, and I was like,
like
oh,
two piece in
uh-oh.
these. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah, I thought that was
I
pretty
was like, he
cool.
don't care anymore.
Yeah, I do like that because it's like most people probably would have picked Ice Fist for that. He was like, no, Fire Fist. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Never seen that before. I like that.
Yeah. And then yeah, we get a little bit of Olrox, obviously. Like Olrox helps them out and they're trying to put the portal to hell and chuck the night creature machine away and all goes to shit.
They lose, technically.
Yeah.
They fucking lose.
Terror is a vampire.
Yeah, Annette doesn't do it anymore. Fucking Terror is a vampire. Yeah, everybody lost. The Abbott, he's
He's a
done
moron.
for. He's a fucking idiot still. He's probably gonna die within the first like 2 episodes of the next season.
They fucking lose to fucking, I guess now she goes by Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess of war now or some crap. Thundercat. Yeah, they take off, and then this is the best moment of the entire fucking season is when our heroes are about to be attacked by Drolta and the rest of the gang, and just who shows up out of nowhere but our fucking boy Alucard, man. Like, oh man, I was screamed when this shit happened because like the whole show I was like, that bitch is a vampire. Where the fuck is he at? I know his ass ain't dead. Where is he? And then this shit happened, and I was like, everything about I don't care. This season's golden now. Everything's great.
And I honestly think he was the buff for the first season
He
as well. That
was.
I don't know that I would have liked it the same way if it wasn't for him, because he does a lot
Yeah,
of the badass stuff. So that kind of always made me mad. 'Cause, like, this kind of cheapens their whole like
a little bit.
getting to this point. Because it's like, oh, it's just Alucard again to save the day.
Absolutely. It literally like the same thing with season 1 of Castlevania where they introduced Alucard and then it's ended. But like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just retributed. Also, it looked incredible. That shot of him like in the moon killing homegirl, just like hair afloat. Once again, everyone's just hot. Everyone is just sexy.
Right. Just pretty as fuck. Ghost white for no reason
It's
in
just
the
so
moonlight.
pale.
Wearing a suit shirt, a dress shirt. Okay, buddy. Who gave you that fit?
Yeah, and then just like, I hope I'm not too late. Let's get to fucking season 2. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. I don't know. I don't know if I played any games that Alucard in it. I don't even know. I didn't know he had such a big presence in like multiple of the storylines. I thought he was mostly in like
Right.
Trevor
No,
stories.
apparently not,
Maybe
because
I'm wrong.
that is one thing I did see, that Alucard is in one of the games with Richter. So this isn't not uncommon.
Okay.
This isn't like a thing they made up. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Laziest fucking name on earth, Alucard.
I know. I know.
I'm gonna have a child and name him Nairb.
Like, thanks, Dad.
I'm you and you're me.
Right. Yeah, so like, I mean, I'm very happy that they're getting a season 2. I will say that. It's already been confirmed, like I said. Very excited to see that and just continuing the story because like you said, they fucking lost. They got their asses beat. And this
Yep.
is what I was saving for spoilers, was that I think that's what caught me the most off guard was Castlevania, maybe except for the first season, I don't know, but most of them like self-contained seasons in a way. Like they would introduce a new different big bad every season almost and deal with it that way. Whereas this, it's like, no, this is not done.
Yeah, season 1 and 2 have a very season 1 and 2 together have a very like finished
Yes.
ending compared to like this one this is a straight up cliffhanger where they just said it's Alucard bitches
And then
roll the credits.
that's it. That was it. Yeah, so that was surprising, but also still very excited. But yeah, I mean, I really love this world, and I love, again, I'm continuing my agenda of Netflix. No more live action anything. Just make animated only stuff.
The side of the company they're probably defunding the most is their
Right.
best side for sure. Yeah, I love it. It's so they do such a good job. And like, yeah, I have a lot of like not a lot, but I have issues with this show. But at the end of the day, I still had a lot of fun with it, and I'm excited for like the next season. And when do you think that shit's gonna come out?
I mean, they can animate it all they want, but they ain't never gonna get it recorded until this strike is over.
Like, when do you think this is coming out? Should I just go ahead and chalk it up and just not care anymore about this
I
show?
I, I don't know because seemingly rumors are that actor strike took a turn for the worse, so it don't look like it's gonna get better anytime soon.
We thought it was shaping up to be done,
Yeah.
and then that didn't happen. Now animators are threatening to strike, and if animators strike and that goes to the holidays,
we're
I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
Nope, nope, nope. I don't know. I would love to say the same time next year. I would love to say that for season
Mm.
2, but again, they can't record any voice actor stuff, and like you said, if the animators are gonna strike, who the fuck knows? Who knows?
It's Grey's Anatomy season, and that's of course not on because of the strikes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I guess that
Grey's
makes
Anatomy would have
sense.
started probably like late last month, early this month.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I
Yeah,
forgot about like shows like that are on week to
yeah,
week.
shows that Coca currently, yeah, that are on for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn. So who knows? We'll see. Hopefully the strike doesn't kill it though.
That would
Hopefully
be
Netflix is
really
still
upsetting.
alive when it's all over.
Are they trying to do another price hike? They're not gonna be.
I don't
Fuck
know.
them.
I don't know. I don't know.
Go ahead and sell that shit to HBO
It sucks
Max.
because their
Jeez.
animation stuff looks so cool. That Scott Pilgrim show looks so dope coming up soon. The fucking
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Dante's the Devil May Cry show coming out like should be dope. Like
That'll be so Castlevania coded for
oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah,
It's the same fucking characters basically.
yeah,
Like-
absolutely. So it's probably gonna be awesome. But yeah, I really love this series a whole lot, and yeah, I look forward to more of it.
Hell yeah.
I am surprised that like this hasn't like rejuvenated any like interest in making a new Castlevania game.
Maybe it is, and it's just under wraps. I mean, games take a long time to make.
That's
so
true.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're like halfway through development. But I was looking; it looks like the last Castlevania came out in like 2014.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Why did we decide to make a TV show about this 10 years?
I
later?
don't know. That's what I'm so genuinely surprised by.
Like, no one can tell me that they care this much about this game when this game hasn't even made a new game. And
Right.
damn, at least Sonic still makes shit. Fuck.
That's true. What new Sonic shit about to come out or has already come out?
Tomorrow, literally tomorrow.
Damn. God, I can't believe they did that to Sonic. Spider-Man comes out in like 4 days, bro. Oh my god.
Oh,
Poor
they
Sonic.
always do it, bro.
Poor
They
Sonic.
hate Sonic. I swear to
They
God.
fucking hate his guts.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2.
That was the sequel to the Kojima one, which the first one is very good. This second one is
You
not.
said Kojima?
Yeah, he had
What the fuck?
a partake in the reboot of the one that came out a couple years before that one.
Oh, it's PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I care so little about Castlevania. I don't want to look at some screenshots because I only know the 2D side scroller ones. I know nothing about the 3D Castlevania.
That one I genuinely enjoyed that first one. I thought it was actually really fucking cool. Real dope.
Oh, interesting.
Second one, not as much. And they also did this stupid thing. It's like a Kingdom Hearts thing where they made a sequel. It's one that takes place like before, during, and after the first one, but it's only on like Game Boy or some shit. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not playing that.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind a new Castlevania game. Hell yeah. I'll get into it.
Yeah, maybe I'll become a Castlevania fan. Maybe I'll start looking through some games and see if I can play some of these
Old
more
ones.
recent ones and see if I care about them at all.
Yeah. But alrighty. There you are, listeners. Castlevania Nocturne in the books. Ryan, we'll talk to you later. So for the meantime, shall we now go into our final segment of the week?
Let's do it without me.
Bye, Brian. Hi, Alex. All right. Alex, it's time for our final segment of the week, which we like to call Free for All. Title pending. Listeners, this is a segment where we can kind of do whatever we want. We can talk about our day, talk about our life, rant, fight, nap. It is free for all. I'll quickly go first.
What you
My
got?
free for all is real fresh.
Ooh.
Mine is a concert I saw and went to yesterday.
Oh, sick.
My fam and like a bunch of cousins and everything bought tickets months ago for what they are calling the Trilogy Tour. It is Enrique Iglesias, Ricky Martin, and Pitbull.
Oh shit. I think I heard
the
about this.
trio.
That's fucking epic.
Saw that yesterday. It was pretty fucking dope, not gonna lie.
Oh man, I bet. Wait, so who was headlining? Was it Pitbull headlining, or were they all kind of?
They were all together. So, but the order of them was Pitbull, Enrique Iglesias, and then Ricky Martin ended the show.
Word. Okay.
surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds awesome. Little throwback action.
Yeah, I mean, Pitbull killed it, like, in terms of, like, he got the party going. Like, people were freaking the
Damn.
fuck out.
Yo, that sounds hype.
It was
And the whole
nuts.
family out there, that's a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was real good. I was pretty hungover this morning.
Yeah, I was
but
like,
it was a lot of
how much
fun.
Fireball and tequila did everybody have?
Like, bro, dude, it was funny. We went to dinner beforehand, and they were
That's
doing
good.
a deal where on Fireball shots. So we did them. We were like, all right.
That is, why not?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Super great time. Good to see some fam also that I hadn't seen in a while. I will say some cons about the concert though, just the format of it. Cause we were all expecting like all three of them to be on stage at one point and do something together.
That would have been cool, yeah.
But it was just like, yeah, it was just like three separate concerts basically. It was one and then they were done. There was like a good 10-minute, 15-minute intermission in between each of them where they changed the set.
Yeah.
And the stage, we were like, what is happening right now?
I mean,
okay.
that sounds like most concerts with a more than one act. I mean, I've been to one or two where there's like they'll come out for like one song together.
Right.
That would have been cool though, because all three of them, it would have been really cool to see them together. But you know,
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is like it was either Pip or Enrique Iglesias. I don't remember. One of them did the song that both of them are in.
oh,
And they didn't do it together.
oh, interesting. Mm.
So we were like, that was weird.
They probably all
right.
actually really hate each other.
Maybe.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be there. I'm glad it was a good time though. That sounds like a blast.
It was a super good fun time. Yeah. I'm not a huge concert person, so this was only like I've only been to a handful of concerts in my life. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's dope.
Shout out to God War Red Rock.
Okay, all right, already. All right, I guess I will go first if nobody else wants to volunteer. So I got a special shout out to a 3-part documentary series that I actually shot and is premiering on Netflix today.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's right. It's called The Black Beauty Effect. As much stuff as we talk about Netflix, they are giving people jobs like people like me. So you know, I think that's awesome. Animation, live action, just do it all, everybody, and give everybody some jobs out here. But yeah, if you have a minute of time, check out Black Beauty Effect. It's on Netflix. Just dropped today. Oscar and I have a mutual good friend from college, Kwanzaa. She was directing the series, and she hit me up to shoot it. They shot some of it in LA and some of it out here in New York, and I was the New York director of photography. We got to meet a whole bunch of really impressive and talented Black creators.
What?
We talked a lot about the history of like skincare, fashion, hair, and how, you know, the Black culture kind of influences a lot of people. And yeah, it was a really cool project. Met a lot of really cool people. And honestly, I learned a lot while working on it. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen most of it like in before it like actually dropped.
Right.
But I'm excited to watch the whole thing on Netflix. I just got to get a Netflix subscription now.
Don't tell Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, I had one with the family, and then they changed their model, and now I just got to shell out the cash. So it's a bummer. But yeah, if you still have Netflix, check out The Black Beauty Effect. It's on there.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Very awesome. Definitely have to check that out.
I think it's the second project that I've done that's on Netflix, but it's the first one that I shot, so that's exciting.
That is so dope. That is super dope. Hell yeah. And shout out to Kwanzaa. Like you said,
shout out to Kwanzaa. Gold trophy.
All right. That is our show, listeners. There you go. We've done it once again. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fortress spelled F-O-U-R. Feel free to email us any questions, feedback, recommendations, or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 R's like a Bollywood movie. Rate, review, and recommend us to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art. Alex, for the music. And Devin, thank you for being here, even when you're not here. Next week, who knows? Something's going to happen. Something will happen.
We'll record something.
We'll do something, you know, even if it's...
awkward silence for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'd listen to that.
Yeah, we'll put you to sleep. All right, and as usual, happy holidays, everyone, and put a coat on. This coat out there.
It is cold, actually. I had to put a coat on.
Yeah, fall's here, and winter is fast approaching. It's getting cold. And as usual, listeners, we will see you here next week in another episode in the Fortress of...